at this point we should be fairly confident in flying the A320, and we have got to know most of the systems and controls that we need to operate a successful flight and landing. So let's now look at another feature that the A320 has that will assist us greatly in our flying commitments. It has the facility to have a co-pilot assist you during the flight on the flight deck, and the co-pilot can actually operate a lot of the functions that we have been doing in previous tutorials. So I'm going to set up a flight from our previous arrival airport of Geneva back to Zurich. But this time we will use the facility of the co-pilot throughout the flight.
05.
Now I have set the flight up in the opposite direction to video 15. So our flight now will be LSGG Geneva, SBR, FRI, WIL, LSZH Zurich. Again with a cruise altitude of 20,000 feet. As you can see, the traffic is quite busy here this evening at Geneva. I have set the flight up for fair weather and a takeoff time at around about 8 PM on a summer's evening. We have a number of aircraft waiting to take off behind us, so we'd better get on with the flight. Okay, the first thing, I've set the cockpit lights on because the light is going to get slightly reduced as we progress and make our way to Zurich. So let's get used to the illuminated cockpit instruments in front of us. If I look at the central area in front of the pedestal, we have two MCDUs and FMCs. The left-hand one, which we have been using in the previous tutorials, and the one on the right-hand side. The one on the right has a different set of options. It's presently set up for aircraft state, and I am in a takeoff state. And I have pre-programmed the MCDU FMC with the route that I just detailed. Now, if I look at the right-hand MCDU FMC, I have an option to return. I'm going to return from its present state. Now I have an option to choose checklist. I'm going to click the button on checklist, and I have an option to have a checklist on or off. It is presently off, and I have an option for co-pilot on or off. That is also in an off state at the moment. Now I am going to select checklist to on by clicking the left hand button, and I have an option now to select what state that I am in. It is already in the before takeoff state. It is telling me to line up with the runway or start the checklist. I have already positioned my aircraft on the runway, and so I will be ready to make the checklist and have the co-pilot's assistance the moment that I set co-pilot to on. Now, once I press that button and select co-pilot to be on, the system will start. So I am going to try to make this particular video by saying very little, if anything, during the flight. Co-pilot will call out certain instructions and checks. The pilot will answer those checks, and the system will take over where necessary. Most of the operations are done by the co-pilot. So if, for example, it says retract flaps to 2, then the co-pilot will actually retract them. You as pilot will not have to do it. It should become fairly clear through the flight. To make this as realistic as possible, I'm going to try and say as little as possible. I have selected an aircraft in Lufthansa colours because by default the pilot voice in this A320 is in a German accent. I think other voices may become available to add to the aircraft. At the moment I have only the default voice, but I thought it would be a little more realistic if we used a German aircraft. Just before I switch the system to on, I have set my intended cruise altitude to 20,000 feet. Everything is set up to be managed, yellow dots on each of the controls. My map is displaying accurately in front of me. Here is my initial top of climb. We will later see top of descent, at which point I will alter my altitude to the next required one. That will be 7,000 feet, followed by an altitude of 5,000 feet, and then we should make our approach into Zurich.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff. Before takeoff checklist. Checked. Are off. Checked normal. TA and RA till above. Are on. Stowed. Okay, let's go. Take off. Checked. Gear up. Autopilot is on. Climb thrust. After takeoff checklist. Check normal. Disarmed. Check retracted. Gear up, lights off. Set off. Both on. Are off. Checked. 1013.
1013.
Traffic is 12 o'clock, 0 miles, at flight level 354. Bombardier, their test reports in sight. Bombardier, Foxtrot, Delta, Romeo. Traffic is 6 o'clock, 0 miles, at flight level 350. Airbus A320, reports in sight. Ground Center, 118, with you, flight level 350.
Barrel reference set. Cross-check.
Heading 335, the vehicle is navigated.
turning at SPR, still making our climb to 20,000 feet. There will not be much activity for the co-pilot now once we've reached our cruise altitude, assuming the flight goes as planned. But once we get to our top descent point and reach our final destination approach area, then there will be more activity. So I will just monitor the flight and I will come back with various shots of our progress, and then come back into the cockpit when we are into more co-pilot activity. Leveling out now at our cruise altitude of 10,000 feet. Now approaching FRI and making our turn.
Contact Zurich Center on 1.6.5.
The next waypoint will be WIL, but we have now the top of the descent point, at which point the pilot is going to need to adjust his altitude to 7,000 feet. I will now dial in 7,000.
Descent preparation checklist. Is on. Are off. Received. Standard. Set.
The pilot has just done the checklist for the pre-descent. Once he reaches that top of descent, we will make the 7,000 feet active.
West 340. Climb and maintain flight level 340. 2612. Contact Geneva Center.
Okay, reaching our top of descent, make our next required altitude active by left clicking the button, pushing the button in.
Initiating descent. Radar tilt.
Just reaching WIL and about to make a further left turn.
800 for 12000. H Foxtrot Uniform Lima Yankee X-ray Ground Center Roger. UNH 1013. H Lima Yankee X-ray. Contact valve approach on 11.35. 11.35 for H.
Descending through 12,500 at the moment, still heading for 7,000 feet. Have the ILS flashing here, select LS button, ILS now stops flashing.
Check 1. Contact center on 127.6. Going at 127.6. 3630 become approach. Roger.
A little tiny bit off track here, don't worry about it, the system will recorrect itself as it progresses.
Number 3630
can now see our final approach path into our destination airport.
Approach checklist.
5,600. Descent is maintained 5,600.
Check.
5782.
Stowed.
Contact Omaha approach on 118.905. 118.905.
Check.
5782.
Check.
Barrel reference?
Standard.
Bombardier Zulu Charlie, you're 300 above your flight altitude. Turn right, heading to 10.
Side port 645, you're 10 miles from now, be cleared ILS, only 19 left.
Now reaching 7,000 feet, going to take our next altitude 5,000 feet.
Bombardier Zulu Charlie.
Aero reference set. Cross check. 1013.
16349, contact Dover Tower 134.42. 2 Golf, hold to the 2 right, straight with me. 2 Golf, hold short of.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
One tower, jump with 5 initial.
2,500. 2,500.
Tower, jump with
2,500.
Flaps 1.
Right slope captured.
2,500.
Alright, go 4 or 5, runway 3 on left, keep a echo, line of weight.
Localizer alive.
And if I'm waiting, that'll mean go 405, runway 4 left. Jet for 5-4, what is your answer for the ramp? Jet for 5, I'm ready to Delta. Harvey, Delta Alpha. Jet for 5-4, cross into right,
2,500.
Have a good day. Cross into right, Bravo, on the ground, 420. Delta 120, Kennedy Tower, runway 6 to right.
2,500.
Downfield. Roger, line up, wait, future range, Delta 120. And Mexico 405, runway 3 Olympic Kilo Echo.
Flaps 2.
Clear for takeoff.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Traffic,
Flaps
traffic.
3.
Flap 3.
Flaps full.
Flap 4.
Okay, Tower, pretty 14. PD 14.
Landing
14,
checklist.
now we'll finish up with 3 point, but start back and forth. Then
Down and locked. 3-3.
1,000.
Checked arm.
Delta 120, clear for takeoff.
Medium.
Delta 120, clear for takeoff. Future range, Delta
Are on.
1,000.
Checked.
Landing memo.
Checked. No blue.
Checklist complete.
1,000. 1,000. 1,000. 1,000.
Approach
approaching 16. Too high, too high.
500.
Unstable,
400.
unstable.
Delta 120, call the boss, good day, Delta 120.
300 above.
Yeah, copy, I'm sorry, PD-14.
200 minimum.
Okay, very good.
Landing.
100. 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Five.
Bravo to the ramp and Monday 1 cross to right on Bravo and monitor down to the ramp, Emirates 203 heavy. 10-4, contact report, have a good day. Star 406, Delta 699, line of point, to right traffic, cross the Southfield. Delta 699, to right line of point, copy traffic.
Welcome to Zurich. Reverse thrust was not used then because the speed of the aircraft and the length of the runway dictated that they were not necessary.
Check, stand by. Check
Bravo, Quebec Alpha.
is on.
Check is complete.
So that is the principle of using the co-pilot. I didn't manage to catch absolutely everything because at times I changed views just as the co-pilot was saying so. Apologies for that. Again, it's something that you need to try and practice with. It is quite good, though I feel that it takes away some of the things that you as pilot actually want, need or enjoy doing. I hope the gate area here we can watch these couple of aircraft that are landing. These are being generated by Ultimate Traffic 2, which is another add-on program that I have installed on my system. You can see that the second aircraft was just made go around because the first one in the aircraft was too close. Ultimate Traffic 2 is very realistic. It also puts all these other additional aircraft at the various airports and it makes the whole experience, for me, a lot more realistic. We'll just take one final look at our landing onto runway 16 at Zurich as we descend out of the evening sky. So, welcome to Zurich. Hope you enjoyed that experience of flying with a co-pilot.